Continuing on with the theme of this week, and that is the relationship internationally of Thailand with other countries, specifically the European Union and also the United States. We will be speaking with the president of the Thai-Finnish Chamber of Commerce. But before we take a look at that interview, let's introduce Kun Thanong Kantong. สวัสดีค่ะ the special editor of Now 26 and the Nation Group. So let's get at it. Our guest is online, Mark Spiegel, the president of the Thai-Finnish Chamber of Commerce. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
How has business been for you a month after the coup d'etat?
Well, I'd have to say, I mean, speaking specifically on the economic side, things have been quite stable. There hasn't been much impact to the business here, and confidence right now, I'd say 1 month after the change in the administration of the country is so far quite positive.
Will the foreign chambers of commerce in Bangkok here have a meeting or consult among themselves in order that they may send a message back to the European Union about the exact or the real situation here in Thailand?
Yes, of course. I mean, you know, the Thai-Finnish Chamber of Commerce is one chamber who's a member of the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce, which is the umbrella group looking after the foreign business community here. And we are already putting together our policies and recommendations to the NCPO in terms of economic change and economic reform on things we'd like to see in order to improve the environment for foreign investment and obviously to improve the economy overall in the country.
What is exactly the reason, behind the EU's very strongly worded statement on Thailand, going so far as to call off any further agreement, between Thailand and EU, and particularly the partnership and cooperation agreement, between Thailand and the EU. What are some of the main reasons in your opinion?
I can't really speak to government. I mean, government has certain protocol in place, and as you would expect, coming from regions like the EU and America and Australia, I mean, they have a very strong position on modern democracy, and I know they have concerns in terms of the way things are being done right now.
Okay.
But we as business people we're separated from that, and we look at things only on an economic basis. I mean, we have businesses to run, we have employees to take care of, and that's what we have to look after.
Okay, well, as you said, you have a business to run, you have employees, people to take care of. How has then the private sector's reaction been to the latest comments coming from the European Union?
Well, I mean, it only just came out this morning, but again, we're going to take the step that they cannot. I mean, as you know, most Western governments are not allowed to engage with any countries that are under military rule. But we as business people, we feel that an obligation as economic stakeholders and people living here in the country, and in order to look after our own businesses, we have an obligation to engage on economic matters. So we will do whatever we need to do in terms of engaging the different stakeholders and participating in whatever economic processes we can in order to sustain our businesses.
Okay.
Do you think that the situation might get worse to the extent that there could be some sort of sanctions against Thailand's trade, given the fact that leading newspapers like the New York Times or Washington Post, have come up with their very strong editorials against Thailand, following the report of the U.S. State Department, on the situation of Thailand's human trafficking. They are now urging, big retail stores like Tesco, Lotus, Carrefour, or Walmart, not to import some of the seafood products or food products from Thailand. Do you think that we might go to the point of economic sanctions?
I don't know. Again, that's really for the governments to decide, but obviously taking a strong reaction will create a negative reaction on this side. I mean, look, we're trying to stabilize the situation. We're trying to move the country forward in a long-term manner. Obviously these types of things don't necessarily help, but again, governments are going to take whatever position they feel necessary to protect their position, but we as business people, we don't necessarily support or don't support, the position being taken. But right now, for those of us that are here locally, we're committed to Thailand, we're committed to the economy, we're committed to the people here, and we just want what's best for the country.
Okay, and lastly, what's your outlook for 2014, specifically for the tourism sector, as it's quite big here? What are your expectations for the end of this year?
Well, it's difficult to say again. I mean, it's going to depend on whether or not, or how soon they lift martial law. It will also depend on how quickly a lot of the countries that have Thailand on the watch list reduce to safe to travel. Because as you're well aware, when countries place Thailand on that list, you cannot get insurance. So therefore, business people usually are forbidden from coming, and a lot of tourists, if they're not familiar with Thailand, won't take the chance to come here as well. The position we've taken for the time being is we are urging international tour operators to come here and see the situation for themselves. It's quite safe here. There's no real impact on daily life, and there's no reason not to come here. Okay. But again, until those countries, take Thailand off the watch list, it's going to be difficult for them to come.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Mark Spiegel, for being with us here today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that is the president of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, or Thai-Finnish Chamber of Commerce, summarizing positive, still committed for the Thai kingdom. And on your, question about the EU stance, he did say that, well, we can't talk about politics, but definitely the private sector. And I think this is a theme that we're seeing a lot, not only from the international side, but also the Thai side, that, let the politics be what they are, but for business, it's going to go on. There are a mouths to feed. There are people to take care of. And so they will do whatever they can.
Yes, it's the two worlds apart between the expat communities here in Thailand and the position of their government, particularly the European Union and the United States. You see that the private sector here so far has been quite happy with what's going on in Thailand. Things have been pretty calm,
well, that's because
and the political crisis, the political crisis, has somewhat, ended. And then so far, the military government hasn't done anything to upset or to disrupt, the business atmosphere in this country.
Yeah, but the challenge is going to be the red tape. He said that the tourism, the red tape. Once you have certain things such as martial law, such as military governments, there's protocols that each government has to take, and these protocols that could end up to affecting tourists from business sectors, from tourism. It's going to take place, and so maybe perhaps now the private sector will have to find a way around it.
Yeah, but then by and large, it's an internal affair, of Thailand. We need to wrap up, or put our house in order. Coming up with a new social order or political order. That will stabilize the situation for the country. And this has nothing to do with the European Union and the United States. And I wonder, Thailand has done nothing. Okay, no, we have not introduced any policy. Okay, to harm or to hurt the U.S. interest or European interest.
I don't know, maybe it's not about the concept, but about the timeline, maybe. I think the United States also, as I just mentioned there, Scott Marcel, he says that it's just about the fact that it's not being done quickly. It's really now a long-term situation, and that means that people will have to wait. So wait, we will. Thank you so much, Khun Thanong, for being with us here at Now Afternoon. If you didn't catch our talking noise, follow me on Twitter at Taurat_now26. Up next is the Thai News.